So I wanted to make this video to express my extreme love for the Uncanny podcast. This is a BBC podcast which is available on Spotify. The reason why I think this podcast is so long overdue is because I have spent so many hours in my life, slightly embarrassing, scouring the internet for true ghost content. And a lot of that stuff, basically a bunch of grown adults terrifying themselves over some orbs or some sounds in a room in the dark, as if ghosts will only come out at night. Entertaining in its own way, and I was a massive fan of Most Haunted growing up. I thought it was wonderful. I really enjoyed it. But I think the point is that what people really want with ghost stories is a recreation of that moment when you're sat around in the pub with your friends and somebody just comes out with a story which is subtle and understated and took place in their childhood home, and they don't really know what to make of it either, but it's a real story, and those kind of things give me chills. I'm always on the hunt for them and I love them, and I'm amazed it's taken this long for somebody to just produce a podcast which is so simple. And Danny Robbins really understands the importance of giving out the credentials of the person and showing how normal this person is, and therefore how believable their story it is. And they're often reluctant in believing it, and they often are embarrassed to tell the story, and that's what gives it its charm. And I'm just really glad that someone's recreated that now in a podcast. It's just such a treat for people like me. So I thought I would just highlight some of my favourite episodes just because they have that really classic ghost story element. The first was episode 13, which is the return of Elizabeth Dacre, which is set in a small seaside village called Rottingdean. And it is the story of the former owner potentially coming back to haunt it. And did I dig out the autobiography of the former owner, which was mentioned in the episode? Yes, I did. I'm not going to show a picture of it here because I think maybe that's a little bit inappropriate. Did I do that? Yes, I did. Did I visit Rottingdean and go to see the church where the ghost of the old woman was seen and where the spectral burial was supposed to have happened, and the beautiful complex of houses where the story took place? Yes, I did. I did all of these things, and here are the pictures. My other favourite was I Will Kill You All, which is episode 9. Was a story of a young family moving into a Victorian home in 1980s Birmingham. And again, it's just the most fabulously period ghost story. The other reasons why this podcast is so great is because it's wonderful storytelling. I love the use of skeptics to analyse the story, and one of those skeptics is Kieran O'Keefe, who you would remember from Most Haunted. I think they really delve into why it is that people like ghost stories, why it is that people are interested in them, the relationship that they have with our own mortality and with grief. And that's very poignant and very human. And effectively, the podcast brings ghost stories out into the mainstream, which I think is really great because the stories are out there and they mean something no matter what you believe. So that's the video. I just basically wanted to put my 2 cents in to make sure that anyone like me who is trawling the internet for these stories finds this podcast, because the hunt is over. The holy grail of ghost stories exists now, and you can just listen to this, and that's wonderful. So yeah, bye.